Sunny Nelson City at the top of the south was the perfect setting for the final round of the Parker NZ New Zealand Rally Championship. It's the Houston and Damon Motors Rally of Nelson. 5 rounds to go of the championship rally, and the battle had come down to this. 2 top drivers, both with a chance to show that they are the best. Chris West, defending champion. He's got the backing of the highly skilled and professional Winger Subaru Rally Team New Zealand.
We've got everything to lose and nothing to lose, so to speak. So, at the moment, before we even start, we're second, and obviously that's not what we're after, and we'll be going for that, to defend the title.
But equally determined to take the title, Richard Mason, with the backing of a family and a dedicated group of mates who share the belief in his ability.
You didn't do the first round. Can you win the New Zealand Rally Championship?
Hey, I think we can. We've won 3 rounds out of 4 so far, so why not make it 4 rounds out of 5?
Yes, it's the rally with the wow factor from the home of wearable arts here in sunny Nelson. I'm Clint Brown. Glad you could join us on 3 Sport for the final round of the Parker NZ New Zealand Rally Championship. And talking about wow, it's all about wearable dust this weekend. Who's going to be wearing the dust? And at the end of it, who's going to be wearing number 1 after the Houston and Damon Motors Rally of Nelson? But it wasn't just the battle out front that would be fought this weekend. Emma Gilmore leads a 4-way tussle for the 3rd place in the championship with Sam Murray, Brett Martin and Glenn Smith. Stage 1, Slater Road, was held on Saturday afternoon to the east of Nelson on a road previously used 25 years ago on the Motorguard Rally of New Zealand. Once again, Chris West would be first on the road, but in these spring conditions, he would at least have a dust-free run and avoid the punctures created by rocks thrown up on the road by the other rally cars.
Already at the 3K mark, you can see he's got some debris in the front of the car. He'll have to be careful he doesn't damage the radiator or the oil cooler in the front.
Back at the start, Richard Mason, and for the first time this season, will ride on board and have a chance to see the difference between the 2 driving styles, West versus Mason. Sarah Randall has been co-driving for Richard this season, has done a great job in adapting to that co-driver role.
Well, at the 3K mark here, Richard, he looks a little bit slower, but this Subaru's got low-down torque. You can see him cutting on the inside of the apex there. Now, the low-down torque will give him a bit of punch out of the corner, and, of course, he'll be able to run a little bit different line to Chris West, probably a little bit smoother.
Now it's Chris West nearing the halfway point of the stage. You can see he's trying very hard as he approaches the split time.
Minus. Into 4 right, opens. Into 5 right, minus, keep and tightens.
And he stops the clock at 10:21.
Left plus 80.
Back with Richard Mason, who's had the edge over West right throughout this season. Whoops, hips the bank there. Roger, might be a bit of a problem.
Yes, Clint, at the rally shakedown, they had a bit of a problem with the centre diff. Now, hopefully they'll fix that problem, otherwise it could badly affect the handling of this car.
Approaching the split time, well, he's 11.8 seconds down on West. Now, that's the first time this year that Richard's been slower on the first stage. Back at the start, Sam Murray, a great chance this weekend to finish 3rd in the championship by bringing home a Subaru 1-2-3.
4 right minus into 3 left, keep in.
Murray's lived in the shadow of the 2 other Subaru drivers all season, so now he's got a chance to show what he's made of.
Into 4 right minus, small cut 80.
Tightens late, and then opens to 50.
So will West hold on and extend his lead? Just look at the dust and how committed he is.
50.
His time?
5 left, 50. Yeah.
16 minutes, 17 seconds.
Brake pads are no good. Locking the wheels up. Yeah.
Chris, on the split, we had you about 11.8 seconds up on Richard Mason.
Yeah, we're trying, but unfortunately we lost. Probably be interesting, but I think we lost at least that on the way out through here. I had a rock and it felt as though it had punctured, but just not a, it might have a leaking brake caliper or something. That's just the pedal's really inconsistent. It's locking the wheels up, so we'll sort it. We've got 30 minutes.
50, short 5 right and 3 left.
So now it's Mason approaching the finish.
Finish, 5 left.
15.26, still down.
Cool. How did it handle?
Terribly.
Richard, we have you 11.8 down on the split. You got a bit of a problem.
Yeah. We before the start of the stage, the centre diff is telling us that it's broken. Like the computer on it, we had some problems with it in testing and put a new computer in it, and we thought that it was fixed, but now it seems to come back. So there must be a wiring problem somewhere that's sort of a hassle. So that's how it is, I suppose.
Back with Sam Murray from Palmerston North. Now he's approaching his split time.
Titans 30. 4 left, 4 right, don't go wide.
And look at that, he's just 3.6 seconds down on West.
Now Sam has a great chance here of taking the rally lead after Chris West's problem at the end of the stage. He's really on a charge through here. Oh, he's just about blowing it here by going off the road. That could have been a big problem, but he's recovered. He's back away again.
3 left, Titans opens 50. Gotcha. Roger.
Sam, looks like you're pretty good through the split there. Only 2.6 down on Westy.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I was a bit hesitant. There's already rocks out in the road. You're sort of having to be a bit careful of those. And then I heard a 3 and I heard a 5 instead of a 3 right near the finish there. So that wasn't so good.
3, 2, 1.
The first Mitsubishi on the road and the first of the third place getters, Glenn Smith.
30 and long, 4 left plus Titans, and 4 right 30 and very long, 3 left, don't cut entry, and caution, don't go wide. Exit.
Glenn's been a bit of a slow starter on rallies this season. There's something he's trying to overcome, so it'll be interesting to see his split time.
Coming up. It's 2-5 right.
Well, that's coming up, and he's
30 and short 4 left.
17.3 seconds down on West, though. Slower through there, and even Mason, who had those problems. So not the start he wanted.
Glenn, looks like the pace for third's really hotting up. There's very few seconds between you at the split. It's Sec 4, Sam Murray, who seemed to be quite a bit quicker.
Yeah, I don't know. We were just trying quite hard, but just couldn't get enough traction. It was quite a lot more slippy than we thought, and we were skating a fair bit. So I think we've got it a bit hard and might have to soften the car up a bit. I thought there'd be a bit more sweep the roads, and just can't get the grip.
Emma Gilmore also starting slowly, only 7th fastest through the stage. Brett Martin, another third place contender, also chasing Sam Murray. But he was slower than Smith and 26 seconds down on Murray by the stage end. In fact, it was Dean Sumner had set the pace for the Mitsubishis after his team made some very effective changes to the car before the rally.
Fastest so far.
Yeah, and I haven't been doing anything different that I've been doing all year. It's just the car's better, and we've got it roughly better. Like it's better, but we haven't even fine-tuned it. Like this is the first sort of test road we've done since we've made the changes. So there's a lot more to come yet, which is quite pleasing.
4 right minus here at the 3 left.
Back at the start, it's Grant Barber running 8th on the road, so it's interesting to note the road conditions too, Roger.
Already you can see some pretty big rocks there. Now those rocks are pretty dangerous in terms of getting punches, so you've got to stay away from them. The other interesting thing here, Clint, is the fact that there's a racing line already being developed by the previous cars that have actually swept the top of the surface on the road. And that racing line is very important to stay in for a good time.
Talking of a good time, Brett Taylor's gone from strength to strength this year. 8th fastest through the stage. And under the shine this year, Leanne Barnes, and if she could stay ahead of James Holder, she'd take out the rookie title. Dave Strong has a 1-point lead in the Kiwi 2 class. Also chasing championship honours. He started well too, 10th fastest through the stage to lead the Kiwi 2s. James Holder chased hard, but his chances were dashed by a puncture, and he dropped back to last. So it was Reese Musson who led the chasing pack. He was was just ahead of defending Kiwi 2 champ Jason West. So as they head back to Nelson for the overnight break, it's West with a lead of 9.6 seconds over Murray, Mason and Sumner. Day 2, Stage 2 on the longest of the rally, Cut Hill Road at 48.8 kilometres.
3, 2, 1, go.
Once again, it's Chris West starting first on the road with the dust and rocks. A real challenge too, but that could be to his advantage, Roger.
Well, the first thing you'll see here is there's no swept line for him. Now look at the dust that Chris is throwing up through here. Now these roads in Nelson, they're an absolute rally driver's dream, flowing through the forest. This is fantastic stuff.
Into 4 left minus long.
Oh, he's so lucky there. He got the car right up on the 2 wheels. He was very lucky to get away with that because he's running out of road.
Middle entry, 3 left long. Opens. And 4 left minus.
Look at the way Chris is driving his Subaru here. He's placing that car perfectly as he comes into this right-hander. It's great to watch a driver like this, the current New Zealand rally champion, giving us all a real good rally lesson on how to drive a rally car. Smooth and fast.
4 left plus into 2.
So let's check him out on the split time through the Ford, a very popular spectator point, and it's West at 17 minutes 6 seconds. Looking good.
150, 4 left minus and junction. Sorry.
The trouble here, he's missed that call. That could prove costly. So can Richard Mason take advantage of that mistake? Remember, he's 19 seconds down. He's got to make that up after stage 1.
Now, even from here, you can see that West's car has left the line in the gravel, and outside of that is the rocks and dust, and can cause lack of traction, or worse still, can cause some punches.
Mason looking good here, but of course he's still driving with that centre diff problem.
Oh, Richard's missed a pace note call. Oh, he's just got away with it. He's very lucky through there. He certainly kept his cool under that pressure.
So fantastic shots from the chopper down to the split time. And amazing, he's tied with West, but remember, West had that off after the split point. So, can West make up the time now?
30.
I don't think so, Clint. I can actually hear a noise, and it sounds very much like a puncher in that car.
Into 5.
That's going to cost him a little bit of time.
Open. 50.
But it hasn't actually slowed him down. Look at him driving with this commitment. Oh, he's so lucky to get away there. He's really hanging on to this thing.
80.
Chris, we had you dead equal with Richard at the split, but looks like a flat tyre in the second half.
Yeah, we punched it probably 7 or 8 k's from the end, so lucky enough it was on the rear, but yeah, probably lost 20 seconds or something, but probably that buffer that we had last night's gone.
So talk about a dramatic start to the big day of Rally Nelson, approaching the finish. Richard Mason and his time, he takes the lead, 35 seconds faster now.
Richard, you're dead equal at the splits, but I think through the stage time Chris had a problem, so I think you've taken the rally lead.
I don't know, like I'm not sure exactly how much time's been taken out there, but we got some, like the centre diff was giving us some serious hassles in there, like it was a real handful to drive, but okay, now we can go to service and maybe they might be able to do something about it.
Sam Murray back at the start. He's obviously happy about his chances here. Sam Murray has a good chance to finish third in the championship, and that would mean a Subaru 1, 2, 3. They've already taken out the manufacturer's title after 5 of the 6 rounds.
Sam has a much more aggressive style on these roads, and I don't really know if that's wise because we've already seen Chris West have a puncher. You can see Sam getting a little bit wide out there. That's not really a wise thing at this stage.
Okay, let's check him out at the split time, and he's 12.5 seconds to Mason, so on this pace he could drop behind Mason in the standings.
Success story here.
And if this is disaster though, he's stopping.
Engine. No oil pressure, my friend.
And here's the reason why: a stick through the old oil cooler. So that ends up being good news for Glenn Smith, with the Subaru guy out of contention. He's the most experienced of the drivers chasing that third championship position.
Left and 2, 3 right. Repeat, 4 left and 2, 3 right.
That's Glenn Smith behind the wheel. Colin Smith calling the pace notes, and at the split time, he's just 7.7 seconds down on Mason.
Glenn, we had you on a really good split time against Sam. You're about 5 seconds up and he hasn't come out of here, so you're sort of moving up the order.
I was really surprised to see him parked up. It looks like he's got some sort of mechanical... and so I've seen him and I sort of, oh shit, I better be a bit careful now.
But once again, it's Dean Sumner who would set the pace for the Mitsubishis.
Since that crash on the Rally New Zealand, the Sumner team have really struggled with the handling of this car, but they told me over this rally that they made a small change to the shock settings and the ride height, and it's totally transformed the car. Now what this has done is it's made Dean be able to drive the car. The car is a lot more drivable now, and you can see through there he's very, very smooth and tidy. And this rally could actually be the transformation of Dean Sumner's rally career. It could be a big turning point for him. Dean, it looks like your front tyre's gone a little bit flat, but I'll tell you what, you're the second fastest at this stage.
Really? Yeah. That's quite surprising. I didn't think that would be this quick, actually. As I said earlier, we're not doing anything different than we've done in every other rally, just the car's got better, and there's a lot more in there. I thought I could have gone actually quite a bit harder.
Chasing him hard is Brett Martin, the young Taihape driver, already crowned the junior champion for 2005. But he'll still have to be careful not to lose too much time to Smith and that chance of third overall in the championship. Emma Gilmore was only 7th on stage 1, and once again it seems that her car doesn't seem to have that horsepower it has in previous stages and previous rallies, but she would still climb to 6th overall.
Yes, I think you're right there, Clint. Her engine sounds a little bit strange. I think she has a problem.
Now, once again, we see the Cat Rentals Mitsubishi of Grant Barber, 8th on the road. You can see the line forming in the swept-up gravel too.
Titans, long 4 left Titans, and a 1 right. 1. And a long...
Yes, Grant's done the right thing there, holding a nice tight line to stay away from the dust and the debris on the outside of the corner.
Brent Taylor again, the leading rookie, 7th fastest on the stage and 7th overall. Behind him, Leanne Barnes, 8th quickest, moving up to 9th overall. 3rd rookie, Tony Burrows. He was showing a great improvement in his pace here, now up to 11th overall. But he was still behind the first of the Kiwi 2 cars. And it's that screaming Honda, Dave Strong. Really suits these fast roads, now up to 10th overall. And chasing him hard was Reese Musson in the Little Wee Toyota. But as you get, he just doesn't quite have that horsepower of the strong Honda. And sadly, this is the last we saw of James Holder, who crashed out of the road on stage 2 and out of the rally. It's certainly been one of the finds of the Kiwi 2 class this year. So after 2 stages, look at the race for third. Sumner, Smith and Gilmore all close, but now it's Mason with a 16-second lead over West, despite a few problems in the older Subaru. So Richard, you get the lead at the moment, but it's all go in the pits. What's happening?
There's a fair bit on. Our wheel alignment's changed quite a bit in that stage, maybe from all the rocks and knocking it around. Maybe it's just settling down and moving to where it might sit, so we've had to do quite a bit of wheel alignment. We're trying to fix the centre diff computer problem by bypassing it with some wiring to a little electrode that'll problem is it has to reduce the voltage down to 9 from 14.5 volts to 9, so that's what they're trying to put in there at the moment.
The first 2 splits were dead equal with Richard, so that's what we were intending, but we punched it probably 6 or 8 k's from the end, and just before that we slid wide and went into a ditch on the outside of the corner, so to restart the car and take off again. So yeah, silly little things, but punches, it's always expected out here in these conditions.
What's your plan of attack today? A battle for that third spot?
Yeah, I want to try and, I think Smithy's 15 seconds ahead of us, and I want to try and make those up over the next 3 or 4 stages before we go in for a long one again.
Coming up, can Chris West do anything to haul back his championship chances? And check it out, there's drama unfolding in the battle for third. And the stunning weather continues in the fantastic Nelson Forests. Stage 3, 36 kilometres, so another long stage ahead for the drivers. And it's Chris West, a ridge out in front by himself, trying hard to catch up to Mason.
Oh, he's so lucky. Hitting that culvert, that could have actually ripped the wheel off. He's very lucky to get away with that.
And 5 right here.
Now just look how fast Chris West is going through here. He's on a major mission. He really wants to retain his rally championship.
Into 4 left plus narrow concrete.
Okay, approaching the split time of the very tricky Ford, 13:21.
4 left plus, don't cut. Into 7 right, 50.
Now as the stage climbs through the ridge, a perfect chance just to sit back and go for a ride with Chris West and enjoy the action in the 2004 New Zealand Rally Championship on the pace in 2005.
Into 4 right plus, keep in 30. Keep left into 3 left. Into 4 right plus 100. 4 right cut. Into 4 left minus. Into 5 right past junction and 4 left. Into 5 right plus 30. 6 left and 5 right minus, keep in. Into 4 left plus 80. 5 right minus, keep left, tightens to 4 left minus 30.
Awesome shots there of Chris West. Now it's Richard Mason on the hunt, using all the road and more.
And 3 left in junction room.
Approaching the split time.
30. Caution 4 left plus narrow concrete board. Watch approach. 4 left minus in junction.
And he's 3.2 seconds faster. Looking good, the Masterton driver. Now check him out. Let's go for a ride with Richard Mason, the pace setter in the Parker NZ New Zealand Rally Championship this year. Back on board with Chris West and Gary Cowan approaching the finish of the stage.
Over finish into 5 right minus into 4 left.
24:02.
Chris, 36 k's through the third stage. How'd it go for you?
Yeah, it seemed to be fine, no real problems. There's a lot of rocks out there, so I hate to see what it's going to be like the second time. Maybe it's better or maybe it's worse, but yeah, it seemed to be okay for us.
So back on board with Richard Mason. How will he go?
150. Finish. 5 right minus. 30.
Unbelievable, same time, 24:02, just 0.9 seconds faster. The lead stays at 17 seconds, but look at Glenn Smith, Roger.
Yeah, Glenn Smith's lucky there. He's taken a chance because that's real puncher material.
Yes, and of course punctures had a major effect on this rally last year, and once again they would turn the rally upside down here.
Into turn stop somewhere here, this is the junction before the Ford, just up to the right or something.
Glenn Smith's chances of taking that third championship place were the first to take a dive. He and co-driver Colin Smith out of the car, losing 3 minutes as they stopped to change a tyre. Emma Gilmore passes them by, wildly oversteering.
And I think the problem with the oversteering, Clint, is actually a puncher too. Yes, you can really tell the way that car's behaving. It's got a puncher for sure.
So it's Emma Gilmore, also forced to lose some time and get out and change a puncture on that stage. So that's good news for Brett Martin. But he looks a bit slow too, and unbelievably, all three of the main challengers for third in the championship forced to stop and change punctures in the stage. So that is great news for Dean Sumner now. Third place in this rally, looking secure.
Now it's really tiring here to change tyres. It can be tiring for the driver and co-driver, and it totally upsets the rhythm of the team.
Glenn Smith now back on the road. And look at this, he delivers a nice, big, choking dust cloud for Emma Gilmore. She struggles to change her tyre. Thanks very much, Glenn.
Long 3 left, don't cut, opens.
But wait, there's more.
Sorry.
Now that was the direct result of the rhythm I was talking about. What's happened here is they've got a little bit flustered. They've changed the tyre, got back in the car, and maybe Colin's page on the pace notes was in the wrong place.
Jump it, mate.
And the thing Colin has to do now is just calm his driver down, because probably Glenn will be a little bit angry.
Well, all that drama was actually good news for Brent Taylor, because he's now up to 4th overall by the end of Special Stage 3. Leanne Barnes, too, was 5th fastest on the stage. And she was now challenging Grant Barber's 8th place. Even Tony Burrows was making up time, 7th fastest, on target for his best stage result of the year. And Dave Strong, 8th fastest, now 10th overall, although the four-wheel drive cars were starting to pull away on these tighter stages. So after Special Stage 3, it's still Mason out in front, followed by West, Sumner, Taylor and Martin. Now, Stage 4 and Stage 5, two shorter sprint stages, so West was unlikely to be able to make major gains on Mason through here.
Right, don't cut.
West's time through Stage 4, 7:37.
5 left minus.
But look at that loose gravel on the stage. It's making life very difficult. And he follows that up with a 4:28 on Stage 5. Richard Mason on Stage 4. He's fastest again, 7 minutes 32.7. So that lead very safe, but listen to the hammering the car's getting from the loose gravel.
5 left minus. Pinks, 60. 4 left.
Mason through Stage 5 now, and the car bogging down mid-corner on the dig gravel.
It's Richard Mason's time for luck. He was lucky to get away with that. The road here is quite steep downhill, and I'll tell you what, Richard's good car control got him out of that.
5 right minus. 50, 4 left front.
Dean Sumner continued his great run, fastest Mitsubishi, still 3rd. Certainly been the drive of the year so far for him. Brett Martin, though, was important for him to get past Brent Taylor in 4th place. He did that on Stage 5, looking good for 3rd place in the championship.
Caution, turn 4 left.
Glenn Smith couldn't allow Martin to get too far in front. He was 7th behind Emma Gilmore going into Stage 4, but emerged in 6th at the end of Special Stage 5, still 54 seconds down on Martin. Gilmore was fine in the Evo 6, still down on power, though. In fact, on Stage 5, she was actually beaten by Leanne Barnes in the Evo 9. Brent Taylor gave himself a fright on Stage 5. Luckily, not too much damage done. Just dropped back to 5th. Grant Barber wasn't able to take advantage of the road conditions. In fact, he was having to avoid the rocks being kicked up by the earlier cars. So now he trailed Leanne Barnes by 23 seconds.
120 to a 7 left. 150 to a caution, 6 left, 30 to a hidden long 2 left at junction.
So as they headed back to service at Tapawera, Mason with a 20-second lead over West, but the champ hadn't given up just yet.
So a few more stages and get 19 seconds back and get back up in front.
Yeah, I think so. It's certainly the intention, and yeah, we're pretty comfortable at the moment. We haven't sort of been breaking our necks, so to speak. So if we need to, we'll certainly up the ante. That's for sure.
Tyre-wise, you and Richard obviously on different tyres. You're running the harder one as opposed to his mediums.
Yeah, he took a medium. We both took 2 spares and changed them in there. And to be fair, we probably. It was a tough call. Like, we could have gone for a medium on the front for the second 2, but I don't think it really made that big a difference. It was for us the biggest difference was the 11 k's with the shingle that was on the road, and it's simply that was all it was. So.
Glenn, halfway through the day, 3 stages to go, but it's been a rally of misfortune, I guess, for you.
Well, it has. We come around a corner and we thought we were going quite tight, and there's a big rock. We hit it and split the old rim, and the tyre went flat, and then we had to find somewhere to stop and change it, and then the car fell off the jack, and so we did lose a lot of time. But it turned out that the other 2 that we were fighting with both had the same thing happen to them. So we're still in a battle to that effect. Although we really had to finish third in the rally outright, I think, to get third. If Emma just hangs on, I think she can still get there. She's 30 seconds in front of us now, so we'll try and hunt her down. But realistically, she could still finish, I think, behind us and still get third outright. So I think she's pretty tidy.
Coming up, the pace will be hot through the final stages as the Rally of Nelson turns nasty and gives someone an early shower. But of course the series has all been about rock in the hard place, and this is exactly what the Rally of Nelson's been all about. Rocks like these with that sharp edge, that can cause a puncture, that can cause some pain. 3 stages remaining in the Houston and Damon Motors Rally of Nelson. Stage 6, a repeat of the earlier 36-kilometre Patuas Road stage. So now the roads would be swept, but West would have to be very careful to avoid the rocks that have been thrown up by the other cars.
Oh, he's hit the same culvert that Richard Mason hit earlier. He's lucky to get away with that. Now look at the road conditions. What a contrast to what they had earlier in the day.
And look at the great crowd enjoying the fantastic weather and the fantastic action on Rally Nelson. And the split time too of Chris West. It's 12 minutes and 56 seconds. Richard Mason on the stage now. Wonder if he remembers that culvert.
Oh, Richard's hit it again. He's probably even hit it harder. Now, how do they get away with this? But anyway, he's still going. Hopefully he hasn't damaged his suspension.
Let's check out his split time as the crowd follow the battle between the 2 flying Subarus out in front. 12:51, 5 seconds quicker than West. Back on board with Chris West and Gary Cowan. He gets the call from the team.
Well, he's making no inroad to Richard Mason's lead, but he's obviously trying. Look at the front bumper on that car falling off.
So let's check out the stage time for Chris West, 23:25.
I thought we were going good. God, I can't believe that.
Yeah, I was trying, but I just made a few too many mistakes. So we'll wait and see what Richard does. But I believe he was beating me. So
was he beating you at the split?
I believe so. Yeah, I had a split come through, and it was and he was up. So we'll wait and see, I guess.
4 left plus opens and opens.
So in a word, it's frustration for Chris West. In a word, it's unbeatable for Richard Mason. But remember, 1 puncture could lose 3 minutes, so it's not all over yet. And his stage time.
5 left, 1:15. Finish and 5 right minus.
And as you can see,
30.
he's faster again.
It was a good stage.
And the lead is 27 seconds now.
Richard, we actually had you up on the split just slightly, but now you've increased that to about 7 seconds over the stage, so your lead's gone a bit further ahead.
Oh, that's fantastic. We were hoping to do that. We feel that Chris is going to have a little bit of an advantage on the last stage, so we're going to do what we can before then to make it hard.
Having the same problem as Chris West is Glenn Smith.
And 5 left coming up here. King's 350.
He needs to get past Brett Martin, but his pace isn't fast enough to make serious inroads into the deficit.
And 6 right past.
But he's certainly trying hard.
To short 5 right, Titans to 4 plus 30. Titans here to 4 plus 30. 4 left minus.
We're just coming to this corner a little bit fast. We were trying to make up some time, and I got a bit keen. We just got a bit wide, clipped the bank, and turned ourselves upside down. So it's a bit of a shame, but I suppose that's rallying. If you're not trying hard, you're not going to be in the hunt. So you got to push, and these things can happen. So you have to rebuild it now.
Brett Martin had another puncture, and that made life interesting for Dean Sumner, who would have to follow in his dust halfway through the stage. Just look at the dust of Martin that he's throwing up, and then 10 seconds later, how on earth can Dean Sumner see where he's going? So plenty of drama, and that means that Brent Taylor moves back into 4th. Leanne Barnes now 6th, just 28 seconds behind Brett Martin on the rocky, dusty roads of Nelson. And Grant Barber had slipped back behind Barnes again, now trailing by 42 seconds.
Chris 57 left minus home, a small Chris.
Now Grant's a little bit off the pace in this rally. Now since his big crash in Wairarapa, he's probably lost a little bit of his confidence. So the biggest thing that he can do is get some real good mileage under his belt, as he's doing through here at the Rally of Nelson.
Long 5 left over small Chris.
Dave Strong easily leading the Kiwi 2 class, now in 8th, 31 seconds clear of the Subaru of Tony Burrows. Jason West, though, lost all hope of retaining his Kiwi 2 title, with this puncture dropping him to 11th overall. So Reg Cook moved up to 2nd in the Kiwi 2 class, heading for his best result of the season. So no changes to the leaderboard after the short sprint stage through 7. Mason with a 30-second lead over West, and it's Brent Taylor still holding out Brett Martin in 4th. So as the sun set on the Nelson Rally, just 1 stage left and 12 finishes in the New Zealand Rally Championship, and that last monster stage of 48 kilometres. Chris Long bringing home the Mirage, home in 4th in the Kiwi 2 class. Jason West, though, wasn't able to retain his title, but he did score 3rd in the Kiwi 2s, 11th overall, his best finish of 05. Great result for one of the good characters of Kiwi Motorsport, Reg Cook, 2nd in Kiwi 2. Great weekend with his daughter as the co-driver too, 10th overall here in Nelson. And after 4 years of trying, Dave Strong finally wins the title Kiwi 2 champion for 2005. Grant Barber finished a creditable 7th after a conservative run through the stages in what has been a challenging season for the Cat Rentals rally team.
30 long 4 left, then 30 to a 4 right plus, then 80 to a clear long 4 right minus, and then finish in a long 5 left. Finish in a long 5 left, then 50 to a 5 right 1. Well done, mate. Thank you.
So the Foxton Cowcocky is happy. And Leanne Barnes topped off her best ever rally finish, 6th overall by taking home the 2005 rookie title. Brent Taylor also got his best finish, a creditable 5th overall in his rookie season. But he was outpaced by Brett Martin, who stormed through the final stage, third fastest, to reclaim fourth place and take third in the Parker NZ New Zealand Rally Championship. But there was still the battle for first in the rally and first in the championship. 30 seconds and one stage separating two Subaru drivers for glory in 2005.
36 left, exit over the small crest.
West wasn't going to be able to beat Mason on pace, but one mistake would be all that was needed to give him a lucky break. So Mason, he would need to be careful. But at the same time, he couldn't back off and lose too much time.
30. Chris, 18, 8 right.
30. Approaching the split time.
60.
Chris West sets a time of 13:23.
7 left. 30.
Now it's Mason's turn through the split. He's slow up by 3.4 seconds. Not enough to affect his lead, though.
60. 3 left minus.
So all Chris West can do is drive his best as he winds down towards the finish.
54 right long narrows over finish 30. Right here. Yeah, long narrows over finish 30. 5 left long over finish.
Chris, we had you up 3.4 up at the split. Have you done enough to hold on to the championship?
It's meant to be 30.4. Nah, we just wasn't our day, mate. Been had a good year, but you know, like you look at the championships that we've done, and we haven't done too bad, really. It's you know, Richard's just done a fantastic job all year. He's had a really good attitude. His car's just been 100%. Same with us, but you know, there's just little bits and pieces that have bitten us on the arse, and it's cost us the championship at the end of the day.
Well, Westy has conceded victory, and that's how the rally would finish. A brilliant drive and a brilliant season for Richard Mason.
'Target time we wanted.
Richard, congratulations. You're the new New Zealand Rally Champion for 2005.
Woohoo! Yes! You bloody beauty!
Congratulations, well done.
Mate, thank you very much. Oh, darling, you did a fantastic job.
So confirming the rally result, a championship-winning effort, first by Mason, second to West, fantastic drive to third by Dean Sumner, and a valuable fourth for Martin. So as the bubbles flowed at the Daniel LeBrun prize giving, let's check out the championship standings overall. And it's Leanne Barnes, a fantastic rookie season for her, to take that title from Tony Burrows and James Holder. Brett Martin already wrapped up the Junior Rally Championship for 2005. And in the Kiwi 2 class, it was Dave Strong wins his first title from defending champ Jason West, and the flying rookie, watch out for him in the future, James Holder. And in the overall Drivers' Championship, Chris West had to relinquish his title to the new champion, Richard Mason.
It's obviously been a dream of mine for a very, very long time, and to come away with it, you know, by doing one round short for the year is just fantastic.
I suppose the other satisfying thing is that you've been the fastest ride throughout the entire championship.
Yeah, for sure. That was actually the goal. We weren't actually aiming for the championship this year. Funny how it works, you know. The plan was just to go out and try and win at as many stages as we possibly could, and you know, by doing that, we've actually come away with the championship as well.
So a great season, and congratulations to all the crews who gave it a go, and to all the champions who finished on top in the Parker NZ New Zealand Rally Championship for 2005.